Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning back into iShot Logic. There's a couple of things I want to touch on today. I've been thinking about and wondering whether or not I should really touch on it, but I think something needs to be said about it. In this video, I'm going to address the sports media and the women in sports media and the double standard that's being set right now in sports media, as well as how it pertains to the WNBA. If you like this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also hit that notification tab. So y'all hang with me now. Let's get it.
So here's a clip that a lot of us have already seen where Monica McNutt was on First Take with Stephen A. trying to explain to him that using words like jealousy and resentment were triggering to some point, and basically trying to check him and tell him that there needs to be nuance in this conversation when we talk about women, specifically when we're talking about the WNBA.
Talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second.
Have you?
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break. And we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. No. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say you know, and Stephen A., I know you just shared that you've talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
All right. Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talks about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
So did you
know you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen
us?
I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
And we said it last week, and I personally got accused of not promoting the WNBA more by our lovely colleague, Monica McNutt. No problems with her whatsoever. Love her to death. But she accused me of that, right? No problem. Then we go on to acknowledge there are many others who didn't do enough of a job of promoting the WNBA. You know why we didn't do a better job of promoting the WNBA? Because the numbers, the eyeballs, the interest, the sizzle, the headlines were not there. No one cared. The public didn't care. And so now you have somebody that has the world caring, and you say to her, well, you know what? We want to make purely basketball decisions. It's the right thing to do, and we got to be worried about how other people are going to feel. But you're still complaining about the max salary being $250,000. You're still complaining about the absence of eyeballs. You're still complaining about the lack of headlines and notoriety and pub and cachet. You're complaining about all of these things. And the one person who has proven they can alleviate that concern, that could ultimately serve to benefit the better whole, now we want to sit up there and get all altruistic and stuff and talking about, hey, it's about the sanctity of the game and the level of competition. You're going to win by 30 without her, just like you'd win by 30 with her. It don't make a difference. You make the call because of the betterment of the whole in the end. That is not compromising your integrity. That is business. And y'all are going to find that out.
So now the next clip, this is where Kimberly Martin had something to say about Cam Newton's assessment of the difference between game managing quarterbacks and game changing quarterbacks.
Parody, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really, Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers.
When you say game manager, I'm not asking you to go out and win the game. I'm just asking you not to lose.
Not to lose the game. Exactly.
Move past the outfit for a second. He literally said in the year of 2023, where it's all about NFL backups, where is Cam? Not on an NFL roster, right? So he's talking about all these NFL game managers. He sounds like the people literally tweeting at me from their basement, like, get back in the like, it's like you are at home watching me. Like just turn the TV off.
This is Cam Newton, mind you. This is a guy who won MVP, who led his team to the Super Bowl, Rookie of the Year, a guy who played on a high level in college and in pro, who's got plenty of credibility. So now we get to my favorite, Malika Andrews. So I want you to take a look at these two clips. This first one is going to be concerning Ime Udoka when he was getting consideration for the Brooklyn job after all the mess went down with the Celtics organization and with the consensual affair. Then the next clip you're going to see after that is Malika Andrews commenting on Joe Mazzulla's hiring when that news broke as the head coach of the Boston Celtics.
I want to bring Zach Lowe into this conversation now because it's not lost on me that Ime Udoka has done incredible things with the Boston Celtics. But it just seems like if we're having this conversation about Ime Udoka being hired by Brooklyn, where he was an assistant coach, accountability is the word I keep coming back to. Where is the accountability to women in the NBA? Zach, what do you make of this?
Let's just rewind.
34 years old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial. It was settled in August of 2009. He paid a $100 fine and court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines.
Outside of decency, why should there be a double standard about the way that male analysts and male sportscasters talk about the WNBA? Why should there be a different conversation? So are you saying that you only want the men to talk about stats? And then when it comes to drama, that's y'all's department? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, so drama in your league is your department, but y'all ain't got no problem talking about drama when it comes to a black athlete getting in trouble on every ESPN show. Y'all talk about men's sports all the time and talk shit about them. You talking mad shit about dudes. So you got Shanae, you got Monica, mainly those two. Yeah, they want the attention, they want the shine, but they want to dictate how it's talked about. It's almost like as if they want to police the media when it comes to talking about their product.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for in women's basketball. And honestly, it's way bigger than that. This is the moment that we've been waiting for in women's sports. But we cannot fumble it. We are all witnessing this unprecedented moment of change. And not just like your regular schmegular change, that transformational change that can close the gap of equity, of opportunity, of how we see one another through the lens of sports. But here's the problem. Women's sports are right now being subjected to some of the most polarizing aspects of society. The discourse is operating at the intersection of race, of gender. It's even being weaponized by politics. The endless debates are overshadowing the beauty of the game. Yes, people are captivated, and don't get me wrong, we want conversation, but we want it to be constructive. Which is why I hope that everyone sees that the dialogue surrounding women's sports has to change. Why? Because words influence perception. Words can transform a league that has existed for 28 years and elevate it to the next level, while also being entertaining, of course. For so long, women's sports has only accounted for 4% of visibility. And that number, it's going up by the day. It's actually 15% as of last year. But imagine if we were able to make that increase in coverage truly count. Now, how do we do that? By not only creating spaces for the right voices, but by also being willing to listen to what those voices have to say.
Maybe she's on something there. Maybe she's right. Again, we talk about relatability. Because let's keep it real. We've sat and listened to female panelists and female analysts rattle off analytics and talk about the NFL, a sport that they can't play. Because I'm just saying, I don't remember coming up when we used to go out to the park and play no pads. When no girls over there talking about we got next, we out there playing 7-on-7 with no pads. So that being said, which way do you want it, ladies? Do you really want things to be equal? Or do you just want to have a little bit more of an edge? By the logic that Shanae Agumake is speaking, she's saying men ain't got no business covering the women. So women ain't got no business covering the men? Is that what you're saying? Where's all this fairness and equality talk? This double talk. They don't want anybody policing their voices when it comes to talking about male sports like they do. They don't want nobody policing their voices, but they want to try to police the male media voices when they talk about their product.
This is such a crock of shit.
Examples like Malika Andrews arguing with Richard Jefferson about a foul situation that happened and questioning whether or not it was intentional or whether it was just, in the field of play or whatever. And they were going back and forth with it. And here she is, Malika Andrews, never played in the NBA, never played in the WNBA, trying to tell a NBA veteran, a champion, trying to talk basketball to him as if she knows better than him. Shanae may be onto something about that, because now that I think about it, when you talk about relatability, okay, I'm speaking from a guy's perspective that I like my sports coming from guys who played, guys who have a player's perspective, rather than somebody that's just reading off stats. And I'm not going on a tangent against women or anything like that, but I'm just saying, in this particular instance, this analogy applies. Just like it is in any workplace. You have women who are in positions of supervisors, team leads, roles of that nature, where they're over people. Now, they want the equality of being able to tell everybody what to do, but they don't want the equality of catching that ass chewing whenever they do something wrong. Is where us as men, in the spaces that we operate in male-dominated spaces, that's what it is. There's picking, there's criticism. Some of it's meant to be funny, some of it's not. Some of it's kind of like a slight little jab and stuff like that. And in my opinion, as a woman, if you want to come into a male-dominated space, you need to be prepared to deal with the shit that comes with a male-dominated space. If you're a female and you go work at a strip club and you're dealing with these men, you know what that environment is. I mean, I'm just being real about it. If you want to work in that space, well, then there's certain things you're going to have to deal with. I'm not going to go run to HR because two females are having a woman-to-woman conversation, and I just don't feel comfortable, listening to that type of conversation. You know what I'm saying? They over there talking about the baby's daddy and all this stuff, and it's just really making me uncomfortable. Like HR is gonna come out and tell me, or go come out and tell them, hey, y'all need to watch y'all's words around this man here. Well, you know, why should we have to watch our words around him? This is the environment he chose to work in. They're not going to care. Matter of fact, they're going to chastise you. They're going to make fun of shame, insult, guilt, need to be right. They're going to show you the sign. That's exactly what's going to happen.
So take a look at this. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Look at this picture right here. Matt Barnes is on the panel with Kendrick Perkins, along with Malika Andrews and Ramona Shelburne. Now, the funny thing about this picture, take a look at Malika Andrews' face right here. She looks like she is in absolute disgust. Like she just hates that he's even got a platform to speak on. And then look at Ramona Shelburne's face over here. She's like, okay. Both of them looking like they don't respect the damn thing he's saying. And here he is, a former player. This type of stuff. This is what I'm talking about.
I appreciate the women in sports media. They don't know this stuff. They do, but they can't come with the same perspective as a former athlete, or, you know, as somebody who's actually played the sports that they're talking about. So I'm not trying to be misogynist or any of that old mess. I'm just saying I prefer my sports from guys. That's just me.
This is about business. Let everybody do what they do. Let it all play out. It's just like life and nature. It's been rolling the way it's been rolling for thousands of years because it works. ESPN got to where they got, doing what they always did. Now you want to come in and tell them that we're not going to do things in a way that's going to be productive and that's going to bring everything up. But in the sake of protecting feelings and protecting egos, we can't do it this way. It's already costing the WNBA money. Now you want to cost the networks money? Even if it does cost us our careers, even if it does cost us the league. We want things to go the way we want them to go. But we don't care what the end result is. But we want to still complain. Make up your mind, ladies.
Tell me how you want.
So which way is it? You can't have it both ways. The words jealousy and envy are going to be used as soon as somebody takes Bronny's shoes and hides them. And we ain't sitting up here as dudes going, oh, y'all shouldn't use them words. You know, those are triggering words, you know what I'm saying? That's toxic. What the This type of behavior at ESPN has been going on for a while. And as a male fan, their network is starting to really turn me off with some of the stuff they're doing. They're defending things that shouldn't be defended. They're covering their mouth and covering their ears when it comes to certain players and certain things that are going on because of the stuff that they're being told not to talk about. And I take issue with that. Sports media, keep it real. All of a sudden now, no problem speaking on Von Miller. You didn't have no problem speaking on Emi Udoka. None of y'all did. And there's been others. Y'all ain't had no problem speaking on them and what allegations that they had before all the information came out. But then when the Josh Giddey situation comes out, oh, we can't say nothing. We got to watch our words. Bullshit. Especially Stephen A. Come on, dog. You are one of the most articulate voices in media, period. If Shannon Sharp can watch his words about Brett Favre well enough that the case got thrown out of court when Brett Favre tried to sue him, if he could watch his words well enough not to get sued, you can't? And yet, now even dealing with this J.J. Redick situation where not only now do you have the allegations about his conduct and his racial slurs, now you've also got reportedly some emails that have some John Gruden type shit in it. And everybody hush hush. Just letting y'all know in sports media. We see it and we get sick of it. If y'all ain't going to keep it 100 and cover it right, well, then we don't want to see it. There are plenty of independent creators out there that we can get our information from that don't cost $14.99 a month. And then another $10 for ESPN Plus, or another $20 to include this package. For you all to talk about the same shit every day. Even as a Cowboys fan, I get tired of them talking about nothing, asking the same question 5 different times. Some of them they just asked a couple of days ago about the same damn teams, the Lakers and the Cowboys, and then everybody else. I mean, forget the teams that are on a path to win a championship or have won a championship that you should be talking about. Your ratings can't be suggesting that every time you have a block on of the Lakers and the Cowboys, that your ratings are sustaining and staying the same. There ain't no way. Because I turn off of it. As, again, I'm a Cowboys fan, not a Lakers fan. But I don't want to listen to them talk the same old dribble about the Cowboys, man. When ain't nothing developing, why are we talking about it? Used to be a time when I would DVR everything on ESPN. I would DVR Get Up, First Take, Around the Horn, PTI. PTI to me is the only one that has any real integrity. For a network that's supposed to represent fairness, equality, inclusion, and all this stuff, they are contradicting themselves any and every which way they can by their actions.
They're already losing viewership and subscriptions. And if they keep on doing things this way, they're going to continue to lose viewership and subscriptions. And this new contract don't mean nothing. Because if they don't deliver and keep viewership up, they're going to lose the network.
Thank you all for tuning in. Please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for all your support. Catch you on the next one.